So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in, so today we're going to cover a couple of my qualities I look for in a property when I'm looking for a property. What are some things that I'm looking for when I'm going out there and looking for this specific piece of land? Drop it down in the comments. If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in land, probably in the market for land, or have bought land. Where are you guys looking? What part of Texas, what part of the United States are you guys looking in? Obviously I'm looking in Texas, particularly South Texas, but yeah, let me know down in the comments. Interested to get like a vote of where everyone is looking at land in anywhere in the country, anywhere in Texas, etc. But yeah, first things I look for are going to be good soils, soils that produce, you know, high protein vegetation, specifically for us here in South Texas as well. Good soils can be anything like clay to red sandy loam. Sand is not highly dense in nutrients, so I try to avoid sandy areas. Yes, I took a lot of ecology classes in college, so I guess that's why it kind of sticks with me that I need to find something with good soils. But aside from just the soil itself for producing vegetation and protein and all that stuff, as well as growing big mature trees, is it going to retain water? Why is that important? Well, water is important for any kind of wildlife. If you're buying a property to live on it, particularly to watch the wildlife or to hunt, in my case, or just to be able to take photographs of these animals, water is going to be essential. You're going to need water. If not, the wildlife will be disappearing for moments of time to go find water because they need water to live. So if you can find a property that has good water, or you can find a property that has good soils where you can put good water on, that would work as well. What holds water? Typically clays. Any type of clays generally work best. What we have on this property, which you're not going to see here, but it goes from red sandy loam, red clay loam here, and then as we start going down towards the lower portion of the property, it starts to get into black clay. So black clay is real sticky when it gets wet. It's really tough to get off your shoes. It just sticks to everything. If your vehicle gets stuck in it, it just sucks you in. That's pretty much what it is, like a vacuum. But it's good for holding water. So we have a pond, it's about 1 acre in size, and generally it holds water pretty well. But it's also because there's feet and feet and feet of layers of just really solid, good clay. This stuff isn't bad. There's definitely worse, like sand compared to this is gonna be way worse. This is gonna hold water much better, but this isn't the best. There are better things out there as well. It's kind of in the middle. This is kind of a middle soil for this area. Clay is gonna be a little bit better, just solid clay. But yeah, like I was saying, water is important. So if you don't have a creek or a river, it's also going to be something I'm looking for. Where's the water source for this property? Is it going to be a creek or a river? Like I said, stream. Maybe you guys up in the northern states are looking for springs. For us here, like I said, it's going to be creeks and rivers and ponds mainly, or any kind of low-lying areas that might hold water as well, runoff water. So again, we're going to go ahead and recap real quickly. We're looking for soil quality, we're looking for water. Those are going to be super important. Without those, that's kind of like the foundation for a ranch or for a property, is the soil it's sitting on, you know. The next one we're going to talk about is big trees or big vegetation, and that's going to be just because of the beauty. That's something I look for here in South Texas. Now, if I'm going to the hill country, looking to build a home, I might be looking for views or high hills or little mountains or whatever, right? Good places to set a home. But again, here in South Texas, it's pretty much, you got a little bit of hills here and there, but most of it is pretty flat. But there are good places that have, you know, large trees, big mesquites, big oaks. You start going to the transition zone between the hill country and the South Texas region. You start to mix up with cedars, maples, mesquites, oaks, a little bit of pines, junipers. You start mixing some of those plants on some properties, which is pretty cool to see. You can kind of see the transitioning on a single property at times, going from South Texas to hill country. It's really cool to see how just things just work, right? How nature works. But yeah, big trees, and that's typically going to come also with the soil quality. If the soil quality is really, really poor, like in the, for instance, West Texas area, you're going to find land that's really, really cheap out there. But it's also because the soils are not very, very nutrient dense. There's not a lot of stuff that grows out there. It's mainly smaller, scrubby brush, but there are some places in those deserts that hold pockets of water, and you'll see that there is more trees there, taller trees. And what happens is a lot of the nutrients, you know, kind of get washed into that area, and it changes the color of the soil as well, but it also changes the nutrients in that soil, which ends up growing more trees, more vegetation, taller trees, etc. And on top of that, they also have the water that's being held there a little bit longer, so things can be watered longer, versus some of the more arid areas where the water just kind of runs off and it's depleted pretty quickly. So again, like I said, I'm looking for big trees. Places I'm only going to find big trees are typically going to be close to water sources, whether it's a creek, whether it's a river, whether it's a pond. Typically that's where I'm going to find it. And generally speaking, big trees also signify, you know, they have a different moisture in the area. So like you look here, it's pretty short, right? Even just from like our little walk that we started from, the trees are shorter back here versus where we just started, which I think I filmed it at the beginning. The trees are just a smidge taller down there versus over here. And I don't know if you guys can even get that degree, the angle of it, but basically the land slopes a little bit, right? The land kind of slopes like this. So the water's coming down from ranches over here, is just coming down and just kind of trickling through and settling behind you guys. So the big trees that we have on the property are all down this way. And that's because a lot of the nutrients from the property, from properties over, gets pushed into that little corner, creating a lot of nutrients in that area. And so when I was looking for it, again, I was really, really young, much younger than I am today, and I really didn't know a whole lot, but I liked the trees, I liked the soils, because I had just finished college at this time, or I was in college. I was in college, or I just finished college when I bought this thing. And I love the trees, I love the soil. It was real sticky clay. I was like, man, this is really good soil, and the trees are really huge. That's about as much as I knew, to be honest with you. But turned out to be a really, really good investment, and it worked out. Luckily, got a little lucky on that. But yeah, just to kind of give a little, reference of what I'm talking about. Like I said, it's better if I can just show you, little trees, and then on the other side of the property we have huge trees. So the trees over there on the other side, they're probably 60-70 feet tall. These things are probably maybe 9 feet, maybe 10 feet tall. So huge difference just because of the water. So trees typically indicate a good soil quality below, or good water below as well. So yeah, just some quick tips of what I'm looking for whenever I'm looking at land, and to hopefully help you guys out as well in case you're in the market. Like I said, drop it down in the comments where you're looking, if you've already bought. Are you looking in Texas, outside of Texas, what part of Texas, etc. Without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, God bless. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.